right, so I'm here with Ramzi Ghandour from Pratt Homes. So, Ramzi, welcome, and thanks for taking time. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so as you know, most of these podcasts are focused around the real estate market, mortgage rates, buyer behavior, what's happening in the economy, and that sort of thing. But we really sort of identified that we left out a huge segment of this market as well, which is new home sales.
Of course.
So, let's start 5 years ago. If you build it, they will come. And they did, right? So let's start by talking about those crazy times. 2020, 2021 sort of thing. Pratt Homes had inventory, lots of it. And when you guys would release a subdivision with your great reputation, everybody, knowing everything about the product that they're going to get and the area that we're in, South End Barrie, was there lineups at the door?
Oh, was there ever the Field of Dreams reference?
Yeah.
There sure was. I mean, we released the Young and Go townhomes. Right. We released Hewitt's Gate. We had all these great releases, and not only did they line up, but it was
a lottery system, basically,
so
right?
It was almost like a lottery system. And here's the thing: so we would have people line up. We did a drive-through for Young and Go because of COVID. COVID was going on at the time,
so they couldn't even come into the sales office.
They couldn't even come in, but we did a drive-through system where we gave out ice cream and balloons and whatnot. So and we would kind of go out like almost think of a 50s drive-through diner type thing. And we would go out and we would speak to people. Once we've educated them and presented our information and our prices and our floor plans and what our differentiators are. And it worked out quite well.
Yeah.
But those days have changed a little bit because, on one hand, it was great. People were buying homes, builders were selling, interest rates were quite low and all that great stuff. But it really took away from that personal aspect of it. Right. And so, now we're humbled a little bit to kind of discover that and to,
reset maybe.
Yeah.
And that's not specifically a Pratt Homes issue. It's not even a new home builder issue. It's an entire industry issue. It's an economic issue, right? So the same was true. We used to say, if you list it, they will come. Yeah. You have a resale home, and if you list it, they'll come. So, in talking to some of our real estate partners, I was talking to Peggy about this just in our last podcast, and their strategy through that craziness was, you list on a Friday, you hold all weekend, but you open house all weekend. So you open house all weekend, and then you set the offer date for the Monday at 6 p.m. or something like that. And she said that was just the system. That was the system, right? Much like when Pratt would, release a new, lot of homes or a new development or something like that. It was a system. It was launch date, sale date, close date sort of thing, right? So that's all changed now. It's all just more flexible now, I think, for everyone, right?
Absolutely. And it's wild because we would release something like 65 homes and, we would prep for a few weeks, and, just within 8 hours, the entire community sold out.
It's wild.
And that was, it went on for a little bit. It almost kind of felt like the norm.
Yeah. And so I'm a big fan of Pratt Homes. I'm a buyer of a Pratt home too. So we bought in the Hewitt's Gate subdivision, pre-construction investment property, wonderful, experience and everything else. And what was interesting about that is, we were part of that lottery program. So
I remember.
And I didn't know anybody at Pratt at the time, right? So, went online, filled out the information, and I got the call one day and it said, you're within the top 3 on the list sort of thing. Would you like to buy? And it was, a really good, clear sales process of this is what's available and here's the price list. And it starts at this time. And if you're wanting to buy, this is the process. But what's also really interesting about that specific development is, bought in the craziness, closed in the craziness. So I think there was a time with new home builders where people bought in the craziness. People are still in this, if the development was delayed, they bought in the craziness and they've watched the value of that home come down because it's not yet closed. And I'm talking about big towers in the city and that sort of thing. Whereas my experience, and I know for a lot of people at Pratt Homes, they bought, and because you guys are moving things down the conveyor belt so fast, they didn't experience that, that downshift in the market before they had closed necessarily. So I certainly didn't. I mean, when I closed, I was just still sort of jumping for joy that I had gotten the lift out of the market. That has sort of changed now too, but the good news is everybody sort of knows where the market sits right now. Like everybody knows, right? Resale homes, new homes, that sort of thing. So let's maybe talk about the traffic that you're seeing in the new sales office right now.
Absolutely. And, just to piggyback on your point there, the average purchaser is a lot more educated and, of course, with the internet and ChatGPT and all that great stuff, all the resources are there, but it's also the economy in the market, and you almost have to be. And so people are coming in with that mindset. To talk about the traffic that's coming in here, we're Pratt Homes. We're a part of the community. We have a lot of, past purchasers and a great reputation. And so we are still experiencing people coming in and people, interested in detached homes and townhomes and semis. But the process is taking a lot longer now because people are not only doing their homework, but comparing and all that good stuff because you have to in this market.
You totally
have
to.
Yeah. So we've noticed a decline in the traffic, but I mean, that's industry wide, and that's people looking at the economy and the market and the politics and all that stuff all wrapped into one. But we still have people coming in and people showing a lot of interest. And
we find that our conversations are longer now. So people are like, versus like, say, the lottery system. And in our world, that was, the 1.69% 5-year fixed interest rate. It was like, I don't need to know too much about it. It's with a lender I know, and it's a great interest rate that starts with a 1. Yeah, I'll take it sort of thing. Now it's like, it's planning, it's advice, it's a long conversation. It's, should I take the 3-year or the 5-year? What are rates going to do? I imagine the conversations are the same in here. They're longer. They want to know more about the community, more about the home, more about the construction, that sort of thing, right?
Exactly. And then, more about comparable pricing and what are we going to include and what are we going to offer and all of that as well. So all of it wrapped into one, and that creates for a longer conversation.
Totally. Okay. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, which is that, a conversation that probably happens in here every day, which is, sort of the variance between a new home in price versus a resale home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it exists. And this, again, this is not a Pratt Homes, individual specific situation. I see this all the time. But what's interesting is the number of people that are interested in new homes and all the benefits versus the resale home. So I think there's still an incredible market for new homes. And if people can make sense of it, they're buyers, So we joked, before we started recording here, and we said, a new home's more expensive than a resale home in a lot of cases, and we sort of jokingly said, well, so is a 5-year-old car versus a new car as well.
100%.
Now that we've taken the buzz out of the market, we are down to those basics, right? So let's talk a little bit about the benefits of the new home, other than just like the new aspect of it, right? Like one of the things that I mentioned is, everybody knows Pratt Homes, but everybody also knows what Pratt puts into their communities. So what I like is like the co-investment from the builder in the community that I'm building in. Like I'm looking around, like there's parks, there's pictures of the parks, there's renderings of how the community is going to look like. And the builder is invested into the success of those things, into that community, right?
Absolutely.
Because, they want to create the community. They want to sell more homes, and they want to see it, come sort of full cycle as well, right?
Well, absolutely. And Pratt Homes we're a legacy builder.
Yes.
And, been building since 1890. And that's really a big deal because a lot of people, want to look at, how long has a builder been around? Can we trust the builder? All that. We're part of this community, and we've been part of this community for, since 1890.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of benefits there, but also, like you said, we create these amazing communities with a lot in mind. Make sure that we have, a beautiful park for walkability. We're near nature trails. We're next to the transit. We're right near the GO station. All these things are very important when planning. And there are so many other great aspects of why to buy new over resale. Like back to your joke about the car. I can sell you my MacBook right now for less than half the price.
Yeah,
I know I can. You might have to fix a couple things on it. Might end up being a good investment, but that's kind of how it works. Now, when you buy new, the sales experience is great. Sure. We're transparent. We're here for you. We're here to guide you and coach you and really be there to facilitate the deal. But really where the where the benefits come in are the aftercare as well. I mean, us personally, we have a great service department, so we're there for you every step of the way.
Totally.
Making sure that everything's great with a home, but make sure everything's great with a home after you move in. We work well with the lenders to make sure that the closing process is great as well. So there's a lot there.
Okay, let's talk about that. That's an interesting perspective. Okay, so that is true because we've worked with Pratt buyers so many times. Mm-hmm. Like in the resale market, it is extremely rare to ever meet the seller. You're the seller.
Yeah.
So like, I email Ramzi and say, hey, could I get, floor plans and maybe some costing on similar homes that have already been assessed for property taxes? And I get it instantly, right?
Absolutely.
So there is huge value to that as well. Like, I mean, you want to see built homes? You can show us built homes. You want to see a 2-year-old Pratt home, for example, to see how it ages or, how it can be customized. You have a whole Rolodex of very happy Pratt clients. Like I can get you through a home if you want to see something like that. But you also have inventory right now too, right? Not much, I'd say. I just walked through it. But you do have homes built for sale that people can see right now too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And, we actually have a home for everyone here. We have 2-story towns, 3-story towns, semis with the option for a secondary suite, detached homes with an option for a secondary suite, and of course, condos. So when it comes to move-in ready inventory, we've done pretty good in terms of, we have a few condos available.
Yeah.
But we also have a community called Hewitt's Haven where homes are ready, anytime from the summer to the winter of this year and a little bit further out as well.
Yeah, that's neat. I was looking at the inventory list and I'm like, this is great. Like you're not sitting on a ton of inventory, but you have built home options for people that potentially want them too, right?
Any option, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's jump into, condos.
Great.
Yeah, I know. But let's talk about condos from the perspective of like, you guys built through the rise and, the difficult part of the market. You still sold condos. And what I want to talk about is the uniqueness of that building because people love it there.
Yes. You're talking about the Elements condominium.
Yeah.
So Elements is probably the most unique condo project maybe I've ever seen. Yeah. It is absolutely stunning. And you've seen it.
People love it. People love it.
Absolutely.
And units are selling in there, right?
Yeah. So we actually, we sold out of the building.
Yeah.
And as we had sold out of the building, that was kind of the beginning of rates starting to go up a little bit and all of that. And most people were okay. And when it came time to close, we lost a couple.
Some people weren't okay to close. Yeah, that's just the reality. I mean, we see that
right
across all builders.
That's your world as well, right?
And we're actually still seeing it today on, again, developments that, are prolonged, delayed in the city, like, like other builders, where people bought, like Ramsey, like 2021 and the building's not yet built, right? So like 2021 price, 2026 closing, like that's not a good situation.
Right.
Whereas, that condo building and the success of it, and, we're going to hear about this in the comments because people love to comment about condos, let me tell you. But people that bought those condos, again, the cycle was quick as it usually is with Pratt Homes from what I've seen, but they closed still in a similar market that they purchased in as well. And hey, it's a fully occupied building. I mean, if you lost a couple of all those sales, that's best case scenario in this market, right?
Yeah, and
that's reality.
They were able to resell as well, which is really great. And now I think we're down to maybe 3-4 max, which is really good.
Yeah.
But I will say this, I mean, regarding the condo market in general, a lot of builders started building condos during the boom, right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was a boom, everyone was buying, so people were building these condos with really small square footage and trying to pack in as many rooms as possible because they're thinking, hey, we want investors to buy because we want them to rent it out. So 2-3 bedrooms in a 700 square foot condo. And that kind of started to become the norm. Now, in my opinion, that was also a little bit of part of the problem.
Yeah.
We're a little bit more old school in the way that we build layouts here at Pratt Homes. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're modern and great finishes, but we try to build these great big spaces with less bedrooms. So we have, a 2-bedroom with over 1,000 square foot.
Wow.
Or even a 1+ den at almost 1,000 square foot. And people are taking that taking more of a liking to that now because it's livable. So a lot of these condos are sitting there because they're these tiny spaces with a whole bunch of bedrooms in it. And, how's a young couple or a family or whatnot supposed to move into something that isn't practical? So,
I mean, like, honestly, the hate for the condo market is like what people call these dog crate condos in the city. Like, I mean, like 350 square feet, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, there's a lot of them, but you're right. There's not a lot of 1,200 square foot 2 bedrooms, like especially not in Barrie either. Right. So there's probably a demand for that. I mean, so we own investment properties, a couple, and if I drive by one of the houses that we own, I'm always like a little shy. I'm like, ugh, it looks a little ratty on the outside. Maybe the lawn's yellow or whatever. But we own a condo that we rent out, and I got to tell you, it's my favorite investment property because when I drive by, part of what I'm paying in those condo fees, like, the guys are out doing the lawns, and there's a guy with the backpack blower, making sure that the sidewalks are all clear, like the snow is clear out of the parking lot and that sort of thing. So like, even from an investment standpoint, and I'm not saying necessarily that like people want to invest in condos right now, but as an investment, for me, it's the easiest investment for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of things are taken care of, which is a great thing. But here's another thing. I mean, my family has an investment condo in Toronto, near, let's call it Bayview and York Mills area. Yeah. And what you get for rent there isn't that much more than what you get for rent here.
Yeah, so that's interesting. So we have some clients that have bought in that building as investors. And we were talking, like, obviously you're aware of rents that happen in that building because, you have people that have bought them and are now renting them out and that sort of thing. Average rent in that building, $2,400 a month for a unit sort of thing.
I would say that's bang on, yeah.
Yeah, like it's not cheap. Yeah. It's not cheap. And I had a client that was renting out a townhouse just in the same area, 2-bedroom townhouse, $2,800 a month. So like, the rents are still good in that area too. But let's go back to the inventory that you have. So one of the most unique products that you have is the semi-detached homes with a basement apartment.
Absolutely.
Okay. So I love this. Okay. So is it fair to say they'd be like in the 8s sort of thing around, they'd have an 8 in front of it sort of thing?
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Okay.
Like low 8.
Okay. Yeah, cool. So semi-detached home, really nice, modern looking on the outside. I'm looking at it behind me here. With a legal basement apartment.
Yeah, that's the key word there. Fully legal. Fully separate entrance.
Separate utilities, separate meters, separate furnaces.
Exactly.
It's great.
Yeah, and on top of that also, I mean, all your appliances, some nice finishes, everything is turnkey ready for you.
And brand new. Yeah. Okay. And it's a legal registered apartment. So we did some quick math on this. Minimum down payment, we said about $55,000. Mm-hmm. Now, mortgage, taxes, estimated, that sort of thing. I factored in about $1,850 for the basement. So first-time home buyer buys that home, wants to supplement their income, supplement their expenses, I should say. I figured they're going to be about $2,300 a month for their total cost after, accounting for the basement. So, we just said you can't rent one of the townhouses in that area over there for less than $2,600 or $2,800. You could buy and live there for about $2,300. Brand new inventory, 2 full units, that sort of thing. Now, I'll tell you what I love about this plan because I did it, and a lot of the people that we've helped along the years have done this. You buy that home, you rent out the basement, you live affordably in the upstairs. Affordable is a relative term. I think $2,300 for 3 bedrooms upstairs is affordable. It's less than rent probably. But when you're ready and, ready to move on, you keep that house. You rent out the unit that you're in for $2,500 a month. You keep the rental in the basement. You take your money, you move to the next home. That might be a fully detached home. It may still have a basement apartment, but it's fully detached, for example, and you rinse and repeat and you do that again. And that's honestly like over the course of 5-10 years, that's how young people build real estate wealth. We've seen it so many times. But that semi with the legal basement apartment, that is beautiful. That's a perfect idea.
We're getting a lot of interest in the idea of that. And, and just back to your point there, you were saying, about, that's where your world comes in. You're looking at about $55K for a,
down payment.
For a down payment.
Yep.
Now we also have some of the lowest deposit structures here where it's $50,000 spread out over time. So you have time to save and to come up and to pay your deposits through us, and that'll transfer right over to your $55K. So essentially, by the time you close, that's all paid.
Very cool. Yeah, very cool. So those semis with the basement apartments, are those built now or are those going to be built?
Those are going to be built.
Yeah. So rough timeline sort of thing?
They can be ready anytime from, I would say, the fall to the winter of this year and a little bit further out as well.
So like you think about it, like just as you say, like first-time home buyer, planning, saving, maybe they're halfway there, maybe they're 3/4 of the way there in terms of saving for their down payment. Like there's a way to sort of like structure this deposit plan where it can, they can continue saving, they can continue giving deposits. It's almost like a forced savings plan for their first home, right?
100%. That's the other benefit of going new as well. I mean, we give you the time to save, to come up, to plan really. Because right now, people are, looking for a little bit of predictability, especially with all the uncertainty out there. And that's kind of what we give you in new home construction. I mean, we give you some predictability. On the resale side, again, there's a lot of there's a lot of variables, and again, nothing wrong with it. It's a resale could be a great investment for someone who is, really handy and willing to kind of fix everything up on their own, or need a certain location or need a certain timeline. Need something right away. Sure, resale can work for you,
or a certain price. Yeah. I mean, that's just the reality. Yeah. We had a deal come into our office. $650,000 detached South End home, small, real small, with a non-legal basement apartment. Now they're going to occupy it with family, so it works for them. Right. Pretty original. It's a Pratt home, probably circa like 2005 sort of thing. Really original. So like great price. They'll do the work over time, and that's going to work for them. And
Absolutely.
We're not saying that those deals don't exist, right. and new homes are. What everybody should be buying. But for a lot of people, it's a really great option. New. Let's say you're a first-time home buyer and all of your money is the down payment and closing costs. All of it. Like, I don't think you're going to want to buy something that, immediately needs work, immediately needs a roof, right. Doesn't come with appliances, like these sort of things. So right. I think there's a market here, and I think there's still people taking advantage of it, right? People are still coming in here.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I mean, like, that what you just described, that is our, perfect demographic as well. And like I said earlier, we have a home for everyone, and we truly do. Yeah. But let's talk about that first time home buyer. Yeah. We'll work with them. We'll work with them on the deposit structure. Yeah. We'll work with them on a plan that would actually fit their budget and their timeline. And so there's a lot of that. And that's, that's kind of, another benefit I see.
Yeah. I always watch the townhouse market really closely because it's like, it's entry level, it's investor, and it's downsizers. So I watch that really closely, like on the open resale market as well. Mm-hmm. But you said something as well that was really interesting. You have inventory townhouse inventory right now in the sixes.
Yeah, in the 600s.
Like that's really good as well. Like that's brand new.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's in our standard features alone are great, but we also include hardwood flooring and oak staircases and stone countertops and all that great stuff. But yeah, we have a couple of options left in the 600s as well.
Yeah, that's great. So here's the thing: as I look around here, there's community plans and that sort of thing for homes that are going to be built, homes that are already sold. I see the little home on some that are sold, some that are obviously being planned to be built this year and that sort of thing. But there's a lot of kind of looks like to be planned homes as well. The reality is Pratt Homes and every other home builder, they're going to build to demand. Like as the market develops, this is going to continue. So it's not like new home sales are going away right now. It's just like you're building on a more thought out and intelligent plan based on market demand right now. But it looks like this community is just going to continue to get built out with parks and streets and different types of inventory, right?
That's it. Yeah. Pratt Homes, they always has, always will. And,
yeah.
And that's, that's really important. And they're thoughtfully planned communities as well. And that's
Absolutely.
That's a really big thing right now. We're in the south end of Barrie here, just really right next to the GO station. There's a hospital that has approval about 5 minutes away. Everything is really quite planned. And yeah, it's good to be a part of.
Okay. So talking about those townhouses, like in and around the sixes, say, like, townhouses are selling in Barrie in the fives. I'm talking maybe older Pratt inventory, stuff that sold 15 years ago, maybe 20. I mean, a lot of it is probably needing some repair. Maybe it needs a garage door. It probably has the smaller baseboard trim, but you can buy it in the 5s. Or you can buy newer, still resale, like, I mean, in Hewitt's Gate in the 6s. But you can also buy brand new in the 6s, right? Like, that is still a thing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's funny, just as you're saying this, like I have my wife in mind saying, buy nice or buy twice.
Yeah.
But
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
That doesn't always apply. I mean, there's some great resale houses out there, of course. But back to the predictability of it, we essentially, new construction has always kind of been linear, and resale kind of goes up and down if we're picturing a graph or a chart.
Gotcha.
And right now, yes, it's at a low point. And, are we comparable? Actually, we really are, if you factor in some of those things that you need to fix up, the location, is it a single car? Is it a double car? Does it have a backyard? Is it backing onto another home? So we have a lot of people who come in here with comparables and say, well, you're selling for $645, let's say, but I see this for $590, and we look at it and it doesn't have a backyard, for example. Yeah. Now, that's not always the case, of course, but a lot of times, when we are doing comparables, we do need to do apples to apples. But at the same time, yes, I mean, we can't hide from the fact that there is a price discrepancy right now. So right now, with the way that new construction is priced, you are kind of, there is a price on that timeline to wait, the peace of mind, the assistance you get during the process, but also after the process, right? So we have our service department,
and
new, all that. And then, of course, that brand new.
Yeah. So one of the things, like, on this we were talking about is, like, in most cases, it's gonna be comparable. Mm-hmm. In some cases, it'll be more expensive. Now, it'll be more expensive in, I don't know, let's say fully detached, big 2-car garage. That'll probably be more expensive, right? Because there's a lot of that on the resale market. That's just like, I mean, I see some of the prices here and it's like, wow, like it's just so low. But let's talk about, like, the semi-detached with the basement apartment. You can tell I love that one. Yeah. You were saying, like, the basement on that plan, to add the fully separate, fully legal basement is like $65,000.
Yeah, $65,000, which is
like, I don't think I could finish my basement into a legal basement apartment for $65,000.
Yeah, I mean, and that in some cases that's comparable to finishing your basement just regularly,
like just without an apartment sort of thing. So I think in a lot of cases it's going to be comparable if you draw out all the math. Is there some equations where new will cost you more than resale? Maybe, but I think in most of the circumstances that you showed me, it's pretty darn comparable.
It is.
So, Ramzi, these people that are coming into the sales office, it's open every day. Like, you are wide open for these conversations, right?
Yeah, and we have great. I mean, we're open from 12 to 7, Monday to Thursday. We are closed on Fridays.
Yeah, but you're open on
we're open on the weekend again from 12 to 5. Yeah, and over here, 1 Lally Terrace. If anyone's interested,
great location,
coming
by the
visit.
way. Yeah,
thank you so much, and we have a great cafe as well. So we always have a
Maple View and Yonge.
Exactly.
Yeah. So come in for a coffee, meet the man, meet Ramzi. And where can they find you online, Ramzi?
So pratthomes.ca. That is, that is the best place. You can book an appointment with us. You can you can just give us a call. But we are here at 1 Lally Terrace.
And you can see all the inventory online as well. Like, I move-in ready homes are listed right there as well, right?
Yeah, everything's available online. But at the same time, it's always great to have a conversation in here because it's also ever moving, right?
Yeah. Yeah, come in and meet the Pratt family. Like, you won't be disappointed. I mean, you guys are very passionate about your homes, about your communities, and about the legacy, right?
Yeah, and we call ourselves the Pratt Homes family, and it really does feel like a family. And so anyone who comes in, we just try to invite you into our homes and offer you a coffee, have a conversation. No pressure. It's a really good situation here.